Hi, my name's Serenity and I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2008. I was 34, and my son was 2 at the time. Initially, I was diagnosed as stage 2B and went through chemo to make the tumor smaller before they did the surgery. It's interesting, I was so positive that I was going to beat this, and I was literally laughing with my surgeon and the assistant surgeon in the operating preparation room, just like joking around and stuff, and just no idea that I was going to lose my breast. And I had great boobs. But I was just like, okay, we're going to take care of this and beat it and all of that. In 2009, my head of oncology and hematology said that I was in remission. And unfortunately, that was negligence on his part. So I went untreated. I went for my every 3-month checkups, but I went untreated till 2011 when I was finally diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer, and it was in my bones, my right lung. I could barely breathe. It felt like I was drowning, and I was getting these painful thoracentesis where they take fluid out of the lung from your back with this big needle. And I was in a lot of pain, bone pain, which is a really odd feeling. But they say it's as painful as giving birth. And I don't know whether I agree or not, but in any case, so it went to my right lung. I had a bilateral mastectomy, so my breasts were completely removed. I had 5 lymph nodes removed. 2011, I was essentially anorexic and in a lot of pain. Didn't know it had gone to my left thyroid and my ovaries. It seemed that the doctors were unable to help me here. I had been on 4 chemos when I was finally diagnosed with stage 4, and the 4th one didn't work. And I went for a second and third opinion, and they said, I might have 3 years to live and to get my things in order. And I walked out of that office pissed. And I just said, no, I'm going to beat this. I have a son to live for, and I'm tough and I'm stubborn. So I was really sick at this point, deliriously so. And they had put me on morphine for the bone pain, and I was allergic to that, so I was having bad reactions. And finally, because I was so deliriously sick, I wasn't thinking, maybe I need to look for a different place. San Diego's not the only place to be treated. And my best friend at the time, people around me could see how sick I was. But whether I was in denial or, like I said, just so delirious, or maybe both, I couldn't help myself. And I was taking care of my son, and he was a priority. I came second, just naturally that happens. And so my best friend took care of me, and she found out about MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston, Texas. And because of my lung, I couldn't fly there. So my dad and mom drove me the 1,500 miles in their 5th wheel. And they were divorced. Something good that came out of that 1,500 miles was that they forgave each other. and came together for me and put aside their unforgiveness and dislike and all of that, forever. I had also written a letter to the breast oncology team, and I said, I'm a fighter, my nickname's G.I. Jane from my friends, and I have a son, and I will fight. So a female oncologist took on my case. When we got to Houston, it was in March of 2012. When she came into the room, her look wasn't so positive. It wasn't bad, but I kind of, in my delirious morphine messed up moment, thought, And at that point, I couldn't stay awake, and I kept falling over onto the patient table, and she's like, Serenity, you really need to stay awake because we need to talk about your treatment. So point is, MD Anderson Cancer Center is hugely amazing, and in 3 months, they saved my life. And I had a Denver catheter put in my lung, which, by the way, is completely painful, and they do it to you while you're awake. And I wore it for 30 days, and thank God my mom was a retired nurse because she was able to take care of it and drain it every day and all of that. And gratefully to the doctors, to my oncologist who just was on it so fast, the tumors in my lung went down. She had put me on, she found out that I was ER/PR positive, HER2 negative, and so she wanted to confirm what the doctors had said in San Diego. She was just checking all their information, double checking it. So anyway, so I have one of the most common breast cancers, and thankfully the most treatable. You get to this point though where, I went into remission. Let me tell you, I did go into remission. So within a year of being treated at MD Anderson, I went into remission for 2.5 years. So at that point, I was living quite a bit beyond the 3 years that I had been given. And even my oncologist at MD Anderson was amazed at how well I was doing. And let me tell you, I was so positive and took care of myself and did alternative medicine and all kinds of things and had a huge amount of support. And people would fundraise for me, and there was no way I would have been able to live in Houston without the fundraiser. I was in remission for 2.5 years, almost 2.5 years, and then November 22nd, 2016, unfortunately, I came out of remission. The cancer came back as my bone metastases. And so when that happens in your stage 4, you're essentially on chemo from that point forward every day. And I actually, in 3 months or 6 months, went back into remission. So I'm happy to say that right now I'm in remission. And places like Be Well, I have to say, I feel guilty coming to take care of myself now where I didn't before. And so I'm working through that as I'm doing the yoga classes. But Mary and Heidi are unbelievable. They have done so much training. They are considerate and concerned about anything we might have going wrong with us because of our surgeries or because of the side effects of the chemo. Just they're very well educated. And it's a donation class, and sometimes I'm able to donate and sometimes I'm not. But I don't feel that pressure to pay a gym membership, that I can't afford. When I come here, between feeling some guilt, I'm also learning self-love. Which is hard because at this point I'm tired. I've been fighting cancer since 2008. And I'm just tired. And classes like Be Well are a positive influence in my life. And I really can't thank NCCF for introducing me to Be Well, and I'm able to take the classes twice a week. And they always give, before the class, they always give us a little quote. And I wanted to read two of my favorite if I could. One is, and if I asked you to name all the things that you love, how long would it take for you to name yourself? And this is such a good question because you go through so many feelings when you're going through cancer. Guilt, am I taking care of myself well enough? Guilt because your friend didn't make it. You know, when you have a child and they're going through it throughout, he's 10 now, you know. The other one, and this makes me, well, both of them, while I'm doing yoga, they make me cry. A friendly reminder, self-love is a journey, not a destination. And so as you can see, self-love is a big issue for me right now because I feel guilty for being tired and wanting to give up, where there was a time where I never thought of that. And so when I come to Be Well class, it's kind of a reminder to me that I'm still fighting, that there's still fight in me. Because if there wasn't, I wouldn't be coming to these classes and being surrounded by other cancer survivors or patients who understand what you're going through. Anyway, that's the very short version of my story. And thank you for taking this time and to interview all of us. And I hope it helps the new instructors that come in to get to know how we might feel if they've never experienced it. It might give them an idea. So thanks. Peace out.
Thank you.